Welcome to Agent Tech Talk with Luis Marino and Max Baumgardner, where insurance pros get smarter about tech. Our mission, making technology simple, practical, and powerful for insurance professionals everywhere.
All right. Hey, Max, what's going
Luis,
on, man?
How are you?
Man, it's a beautiful Wednesday.
Yeah,
Man.
It is here in Florida, too. In San Antonio, you got a great day going, huh?
Can't beat it, man. But you know what? It is business is always busy. It's really a good thing. But man, we're trying to get even busier, Max. And I will tell you, I'll give you guys an update there in YouTube world. So Max has been working on 2 websites for me. One of them is my agent to agent website, and we are almost done, and I'm excited, about to go live on it. And then we're going to start building out the agent to consumer website. So If you guys are wondering, who did your websites? You're looking, it's that guy right there. Okay. He is building out my websites. So I'm recommending to you somebody that I'm actually using to take care of my stuff that's out there in the internet. Hopefully with the hopes of this, hey, more people are going to the site and we're getting more leads converting, or more visitors converting to leads. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
So Max, hey, thank you, man. You've done a great job on that site. And, maybe we demo it just so that they could see towards the end if we have time. Okay. But today, guys, here's what we're bringing to you. Now, we have done 5 episodes. I'm going to do a little quick review for you guys. So episode 1, how to leverage your Google business profile. It is important, guys, that you capture it. Besides capturing it, Max, a quickie on the Google business profile.
Yeah, it's free, first of all, and it's great real estate. And as we're going to get into today, we're going to get into Google reviews and the importance of them today, and try to give you some tangible and actionable items. But yeah, it's Google business profile. Only 50% of the insurance agencies in the United States have claimed their Google business profile. That doesn't mean there isn't one. It just means only 50% have claimed it. Google does make them automatically. But just imagine if the information that's up there right now is wrong, or worse yet, going to your competitor. So that's why it's worth watching that first episode.
Yes, go watch that one. That's episode 1. We talk about the importance of it and how to claim it. Then we jumped into episode 2, which is the relevance or the importance of SEO for insurance agencies. Man, give us a little quickie on SEO.
Well, SEO, depending on who you watch, if you spend a lot of time watching YouTube videos, you can see, depending on what your feed looks like, but there's people saying that SEO is dead. It's not. AEO, answer engine optimization, is coming on strong, but the foundations of SEO are still very important. They're critically important. So that's a good episode to watch as well.
Yeah, no, and SEO, the sole purpose of SEO is to get more people to come visit you. That's
right. I mean, you want to rank higher in search engines, Google being the #1 search engine. You want to rank higher. You want to be in the pack 3. I call it the pack 3, the local 3. So for whatever your market is, for what you do, in Luis's case, insurance, like if even on the P&C side for his business, he would want to rank in the top 3, which in San Antonio, Texas that's a hard thing to do. That really is. So, but being non-existent is also not an option. So that's something else we're going to be working on with Luis as we get his websites reconfigured to optimize SEO for both of his websites.
Exactly. And then you threw out a term, AEO. And guys, that is in episode 3. If you want to go, if Max just threw out there, AEO is now another big thing, which is answer engine optimization.
Correct.
Where you ask, Alexa, hey, how do I find me an agent in San Antonio that sells auto insurance?
Right.
Bam, call Luis Moreno. That's what I want. Max, I'm counting on you to do that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We have to have a solid foundation in SEO before we can expect to be the answer. Instead of, answer engine optimization is quite literally what the acronym or what it stands for is. You're the answer. So you don't show up on a list. You're the answer for a query. And just imagine if one of your competitors in your market is paying attention to SEO, does have their website optimized with fresh content monthly, their GBP built out the right way, with every last little nook and cranny of that pushed out to optimize. Just imagine if they are consistently the answer in your market.
Yes.
That's not good for you. You don't want that.
That's not a good thing. Then we're going to jump into episode 4, guys. Episode 4 is the agency website, what every site should have to convert. And when we say the word convert, we're talking about getting a visitor to the site and then filling out a form where you're collecting some data. That's what we want. That's right. Huge.
So I have a power washing client from my, legacy marketing days, and I still have them, but just from their website alone, they're getting 30 organic leads a month right now. That doesn't sound like much, but when your average ticket's $750, you can do the math. So, that's just organic people, okay, that are coming onto their website and getting, filling out a form, and then they're closing 70% of those form fills, which is high, I think is high. The average would be a little bit less than that. They're doing a great job. So that's just an example. The same basics apply to any small business, but especially insurance. Insurance is when I have spent my time looking at insurance agencies online, and I have a highly targeted list where I go and look at people, how they're ranking in their market. It's the one thing insurance agents could do for themselves, get those basics right. And your website, build your website to convert. Luis, you've said before when we've talked that your idea on a website, and you've been really successful. You really have, in spite of it. But you said, a website was an afterthought to me. It was more of a brochure online. If I don't want to take words out of your mouth, but that's how you characterized it, correct?
That's exactly what I thought. And and I have literally probably missed out on a ton of business because of that. Yeah. And so, I have a cookie cutter type of website, and it's useless. I think you found me on page 6. Who goes to page 6 of a search?
No one. No one does. No. Yeah, no one does. Unless, if somebody typed what you do in your parking lot, the way Google's set up, or if there was, like, say, an apartment complex behind where your building is, your bricks and mortar building, you may still show up in the local Pack 3. But if you want to zoom out a little bit and service San Antonio or a section of town, there's chances are that you're not showing up. And we did that with that tool we showed you. I sent you a report that showed you that you're not showing up for some of your keywords, and your keywords would be around your services. So auto insurance would be a keyword for you, home insurance, renter's insurance, those keywords. And then out of those keywords, there's a bunch of different long tail keywords. And that's what we help clients do. We help clients build out just all of the keyword lists that they would want to rank for. Yeah.
And page 6, horrible.
Not good. Right.
Yeah. And then we did episode 5. We did geotagging, and I was not in my office. I was actually at a restaurant after a meeting, and that was geo-targeting and why it's important to agents. Right. Now I was half there and half not, because I had just talked to a bunch of agents, and now we were at the restaurant / bar, and I could just see them, and they're like, and I'm like, I'm on the phone. I'm like, so geo-targeting, go watch that video. That's the one we did last week. And then today, we're going to hop into the power of reviews. And I'm going to give you my take on it, and I'm going to let Max talk about this thing. Yeah, so I am very, very close to 600 5-star Google reviews. Okay. I think when I look at the Google Analytics with my piece of crap website, that I have seen an increase in searches for me, directions, phone calls. We see from year over year increases. And I can't say it's my website because it's page 6. It's got to be coming in from my Google reviews.
Yeah.
So we take it. Yep. Right. I guess that's a good correlation. I think it's just from that. And I think you said one time that Google reviews is just a spoke in the wheel.
Correct.
Of the entire SEO type of deal.
Mhm.
Okay, so but still, having Google reviews is good. I mean, I even look at them. Me and my wife are going to go have dinner. We have a concert tomorrow night. The restaurant we went to go find, I was debating between two of them, and I was looking at their Google reviews. So,
Right.
I mean, it's utilized, so it's there. So, Max, man, I'm going to let you jump into this one. The power of the review.
Right. And we just found out that there was a duplicate just on my own Google business profile here in Florida. There was a duplicate profile loaded on ours. That was a big mess. So that was the one that Google had loaded. And finally I got a hold of Google and said, hey, this is wrong. Can you merge them? So in that process, we lost some of our Google reviews. We're building those back up, but it's something that you need to pay attention to all the way back to episode 1. Make sure that you claim your Google business profile. Make sure there aren't duplicates, because sometimes there can be. But first and foremost, this is irrefutable right now when we're taping this. Or actually, this isn't tape. This is live, but there will be a tape version. But today is May 21st, 2025. And 88% of search traffic still goes to Google. 88%. So in my mind, I want to be where that 88% of traffic is. I hear people talk about Bing. I hear people talk about Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, Siri, all of those. I'm not saying that those are not important. I will never, as a marketer, tell you that. What I am saying is focus right now on Google. Focus on Google. Make sure that you are aligned with Google. They handle 91 to 93% of all search traffic, 93% on mobile, and then 87% on desktop. So, like Luis was just saying, he used his phone to determine where they would go for a restaurant tomorrow night before a show. And just about everybody's doing it. I mean, consumers trust it. There's your stats right in front of you. That's a real statistic from Google. So, so how many do you need on your site? This is what people ask. We're down on ours, like I told you, and I'm going to eat my own medicine, take my own medicine. But our clients that we have, that's the number one thing we focus on with them. And I want to get them up over 100 as quickly as possible. And that's what, we have clients all over the country. So that's what we focus on the most, is making sure that they are well represented. And it has made a tremendous difference. I had one client just this past week hit 500. And they said, we've never seen the phones ring like this. How many do you need? Well, you need a minimum of 50. Okay. And don't buy them. There's services out there and they've been shut down, and Google's onto this. And Luis, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but there are services out there that will give you fake Google reviews. There has been in the past. I haven't seen them lately. And when I say fake, they're quite literally fake. So what they do is they have people from different servers around the country fill out a Google review on your behalf. That's really not a good thing. Not a good thing.
Well,
So do not.
let me add to that. I have a friend, and I kind of, what he was selling was Google reviews. So I'm assuming that's what he was trying to do. The 600, the almost 600 have been true, organic.
Yeah.
Hey, they're my clients. They respond. We ask them to put our name in it, not just say 5-star or whatever. Hey, whoever talked to you, mention their name, because I do give a little prize every Monday to whoever had the most Google reviews. So, no, I agree with you. Don't go buy Google reviews. Try to get authentic, organic reviews.
Yeah, it's Google. Okay, Google. And a lot of people think, well, Google's not going to matter when AEO takes over SEO, knocks it out. I got news for you. If you think Google's just going to step aside with the resources that they have and the market dominance they have that we just talked about, with that market dominance comes a lot of collateral, a lot of capital. So they too are all over AEO. Make no mistake. Don't discount Google. Do not discount Google. So it's very important that we keep going. And some people say, well, do I want to achieve a 5.0? If you get a 5.0 with all Google, like in Luis's case, if he has a 5.0 as the the total rating for 600. I mean, no one's going to argue with that. That's nice. But what you really want to shoot for is between 4.5 and 4.8. And what I'm saying is if you get a clunker out of the blue for no reason, if it's fake, then dispute it with Google and see if they'll remove it. Okay. If it's fake. And sometimes fake ones do hit you. Maybe it's somebody who is disgruntled, maybe a past employee, could be somebody who just doesn't like you, could be a competitor. So they put a 1 star with some fake name. Google's really, my experience has been they're great at taking those fake reviews off. It's a process, but if you are honest and tell them, look, I don't know who this person is. We believe this is a fake review. You have to answer a few questions, and typically they're really good. But 4.5 to 4.8 typically passes the sniff test with people. And so, you can even dip down to 4.2 and there's research. If you want to find it yourself, you can, but there's research that says 5.0, a solid 5.0 across the board is not necessary. 4.5 to 4.8 is the sweet spot. So that's a good thing to think about when you are getting these Google reviews.
Hey, Max, on that, what you mentioned too, I agree. We don't want to buy for sure. The bad reviews. Now, I got a bad one and it was like, your rates were too high. Like, I can't control insurance rates. But you know what? I didn't dispute it. I went along with it. I replied back, hey, I'm super sorry. Give us a call back. Let us see what we can do. Maybe we're missing some discounts. And I posted that comment on there. So I think when people see a bad review and you've replied back with like, hey, I'm sorry, let me help you, I think that also kind of helps out.
I do too. And that's, Google will tell you that too. Luis, you're right on it, man. I mean, you're exactly right. Plus you're a stand-up guy. I could see you doing that anyway without somebody asking you to do that. I can just see, based on my knowledge of who you are, that we've been working together for a little bit now, I could see you just doing that anyway. And that's what people want to see. And in the case of an insurance rate, I mean, I think you were even nicer than you would need to be, but maybe that's just you. You can say, hey, there's a lot of different things that go into a quote for insurance, and some of them have to do with you. So if you'd like our help, we would definitely like to, we can try again to see if we can be more competitive. We could even try once a quarter, whatever you want to do. But I think that's great that you reached out in such a nice way. And that does go a long way with people that are looking at your GBP online. That does. And
here's a little pro tip, but from my side, is I get an email when I get a Google review. And then when I get that email, I click on it. It takes me to the review. I give it a thumbs up no matter what. And then I reply back. So, I don't do any automated crap. I actually go in there. Hey, thanks, John. Appreciate it. We're here for you. Or if they give me a 5-star, I just tell them thank you. And maybe that helps, but I don't think it's not going to hurt.
Right. Exactly. And, Luis, you also have, and you are an affiliate of Agent CRM. And in Agent CRM, if you did want it to, it can respond to reviews automatically. So, that's in the reputation management portion. It just says reputation inside the CRM, but that's in there if you wanted to. So if you're one of those agents watching, not like Luis, that doesn't want to answer directly, at least you can get an answer, and it's handled by AI, and it's always positive. It's never, so even with a negative review, potentially you'd get a positive response. So that's a good feature of Agent CRM, just to let everybody know. So,
and that, I'm glad you said that, because for a little while it was responding, and I might have turned it off. I got to figure out how to turn it on, but you're right.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, same thing happened to a couple of our clients because, same thing happened. So one of our clients comes to mind in particular, they were answering back the Google reviews, and it was okay, but it just wasn't on the level that we would answer back at. So I asked the owners, and it was an insurance FMO here in Florida. I asked the owners, I said, who's answering these Google reviews? Well, we're not. It's like, well, that's impossible. Someone is. Well, of course it was, the equivalent. I have my own CRM that's built on the same platform as Agent CRM. That's exactly what it was, Luis. It was the automation. So it was just a little toggle. I switched it off and we were back, answering them automatically. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
So strategies to acquire. Luis, do you mind sharing how you go about it with your team?
Man, I would love to. So this is what we do. So when you go to the Google business page, the profile, you can find your own link so that you can send to customers. So what we do is we take that link and it's embedded in all of our emails. So everybody gets it. Okay. Everyone in my staff sends it out. But then I also tell my staff, look, here's what I want you to do. I want you to, after the interaction, whatever the sell or a customer service call, ask them, hey, Max, man, I would really appreciate if you could give me a 5-star review. Can I send you that link? Now, I didn't say give me a review. I said give me a 5-star review.
Exactly. Okay? That's critically important. Yep.
And then, and they say yes or no. I just proceed. I don't hound them. I don't send a whole bunch of emails to people asking for them, but I ask for it. And then here's my little strategy at the office. I'm going to step right over here. Hold on.
He's going to go get bricks of gold, everybody.
I'll go get my little spinner. Okay. Yeah. So what I do at my office is I had 9 staff. We just hired 3 more. And so for every 5 Google reviews that they get to spin the wheel. Okay. Nice. It's getting a little slim pickings in here. I got to go reload, but then they open it up and it's got a little cash in there. Anywhere 5, 10, 20 bucks, sometimes 30, kind of depends. But it's a little, hey, I call it lunch money. 20 bucks. Hell yeah. Give me 20 bucks. I'll take it all day long. I take it. So that's my strategy. Not very high tech. I know that the friend of mine who was actually selling this service, and he was charging $400 or $500 a month. And so I figured out what he was doing. He would ask whoever bought his service, hey, give me a list of all your clients, their emails. And then he was just emailing them, asking them to do reviews.
Right.
That was it.
And that does pass the sniff test. So the way your friend was doing it does. I was talking about, because he's actually reaching out to your clients and asking them to fill out a review. So that's a little bit better than some of these farms, say 10, 15 years ago. One of the companies was called Review Boost, but I got connected with them. And so they would actually just get reviews from people that weren't even customers. So that Google caught on to that, and they're like, hey, let's not be doing that. So, but going backwards here. So you heard Luis's strategy. It's important to ask promptly. An agent CRM, depending on if you're using a pipeline in a workflow is something that can incorporate automations. And a pipeline is, we'll just use 4 steps in a pipeline. Lead comes in would be step 1, set an appointment, step 2, presented, step 3, close, step 4, whatever. So that would be a pipeline. Well, you can set up workflows in Agent CRM to ask for a review right after you get a sale. And I don't know if that's how you guys have it set up, Luis, but that's a really great way to get reviews. And I've also found that SMS or text is much better than email. Some people still use email, but for whatever reason, about 80% response rate higher when you send it on text than sending it email. I don't know why that is. Have you had that same thing, Luis, or no?
Well, we send it by email. We don't send text. I just saw the QR code. I've seen it, but I don't have a QR code anywhere. I mean, most of our sales are telesales. Mm-hmm. So I don't ask. Yeah, you're right. I do it mainly by email.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we did for a long time. When we switched to text and it sends it to their mobile phone, the completion rate skyrocketed. So that was with another FMO. That one was in Missouri. And they went from literally, this is no kidding. So it's May of 2025 right now. In January of 2024, they had 2 reviews, and those 2 reviews were for people on their staff. They have 529 reviews right now. So not that much time later. So, I mean, that's how important it is. And all that is when someone is marked to sold, basically, that you signed them up, an automatic text message goes and hits that person, their customer's text and says, hey, thank you so much for trusting us. Would you mind giving us a 5-star review? And there's the code right there, the link, and they just hit the link and they can do it. So that's all set up through Agent CRM. In our case, it's it's our CRM. But so ask promptly, review if you immediately ask for the review immediately after the positive interaction. So even if it's a client that is an existing client, let's just say you did a review with them for Medicare, they've been with you, they've been part of your book of business for 3-4 years, whatever, and they've never given you a review, you can ask them, have you ever given us a review? No. Would you mind? No. And then send them the link on the spot. But simplify the process. We just talked about how email's one way. I'm a big believer in SMS is the best way, and to set it up in a CRM if you have one. And then educate clients. Sometimes if they ask, if there's a little bit of a pushback, you can just say, hey, do you feel like we do a good job? Yeah, of course we do. Otherwise we wouldn't be with you. And maybe there's, even more reasons than that, but educate them and say, this really helps our business. It really does, and tell them what we've already told you. Almost 90% of the searches online are from Google. So if we have more Google reviews, we're going to be looked at as favorable when somebody's searching for what we sell. But, and then incentivize feedback. One of the things I'm having one of our customers do right now, just talk to them about this in our meeting on Tuesday, is they passed the 500 mark like we talked about. I said, when we get a 5-star review, I feel like we should do a handwritten note, not something that's just kicked out electronically, but a handwritten note with a card in there that says, we don't mind paying for referrals. Okay. And obviously there's some, and Luis, way more about this than I do, but there's some guidelines that we have to use when it comes to Medicare, obviously. But, a handwritten note for somebody because they gave you a 5-star review. So you're going up and above, and then you're offering something else and saying, we'll pay you for every referral you give us, like a little card or something in there, or a little coupon. So we're incorporating that too. And I'll get back to you on that to see how that works. But I don't know about you. We get a ton of mail at our house and most of it goes right in the trash. But a handwritten note, thank you note, I still feel like there's something to that. How do you feel about that, Luis?
100%. Yeah. I go through my mail and, when I see something written, I usually think, ooh, at least for me, it could be a payment. It could be a premium payment that I'm waiting for an insurance. So those do get open. And then getting back to your referral. So yeah, there's a lot of compliance.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're frozen there. Hopefully we're still on live. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Sorry about that. My, I don't know, the internet's kind of coming and going. I don't know why it's slow today, but here's what I have done on my referrals. We heavily ask for referrals. So instead of paying for a referral, what we do is for every referral that we get, we give them a ticket. Okay. And then if we actually get a hold of the referral, we give them 2 tickets. If the referral buys, we'll give them 3 tickets. So they could get a total of 5 tickets. All right. And they go into another one of those spinners that I've got. And then we run the promotion for 3 months. And then the first quarter of the year, we gave away a big screen TV. Cost me $300. The guy came up, picked it up. We did a little social video on it, but only one winner. Okay. I mean, I way more than made the money on commissions versus the $300 TV. Now for the end of June, the second quarter, we're giving away tickets to a theme park. 4 tickets, parking pass with meals. I think I spent $400. Yeah. And we're getting referrals. People are like, we send them out an email. Hey, we love.
Froze up there.
It is really, it is really cool the amount of referrals that we're getting. And for the amount of money that I'm paying, it's worth it.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how I handle my referrals.
Well, and then you just covered that last bullet there, which is train your team. And so obviously if your team knows why you're doing that, then, that's going to help out. I'm a big believer, even with people I work with, I like to tell them the why. I'll even, if we're asking them to do something, because I've worked for bosses in the past that say, well, because I said so, and I just don't respond to that. Even at my age now, I don't respond to that kind of a person real well. So I always try to empower my teams. Like, here's why we're doing this. And if you have a better idea, by all means, okay, share it with us. But for right now, this is the steps. This is the SOP that we have in place. Please help us out. And usually there's no problem at all,
I agree.
But so here's the steps for Google Business Pro, the review link to get to your link. So you would go to your Google Business Profile. Again, if you don't know what that is or don't know how to get to it, go back to the first episode of this, and that'll walk you through how to claim it. Okay. But go back to it. And then once you go to the Google Business Profile, you click on Read Reviews. Okay. You have to own it first. You have to claim it. You can't just go there and see a Google Business Profile for your business that you have not claimed. You have to claim it. Once you claim it, you'll get into this dashboard here and then click on Read Reviews. The next step is there's a little thing that says, once you click in there, it says Get More Reviews. So click on that little button and then this will pop up. Okay. And that was the link that Luis was referring to. You click on that link right there and you can save that like on a Google Doc or wherever, but that's the link that you send out to everybody. So in Agent CRM, that's what we use, is that link for that text message. That's what we use. So we'll, once we close or write a new policy in other business, it's close them in the CRM, we will go ahead and they will automatically get, like 15 minutes later, you can program wait steps into those workflows. So 15 minutes later, it'll say, hey, hey, Luis, thank you so much again for signing up with our business. If you don't mind, would you give us a 5-star review if we've earned it? And then if so, just click here. And that's the link right there. You can also use that QR code that's made for you. Okay. And you can put that anywhere. So you could put that on the back of a business card if you wanted to. And you have separate business cards just for reviews. I mean, what do business cards cost? $30, So, or on your phone, I have an app on my phone that, I can just transfer to that QR code to somebody's phone right on the spot, So any questions with that? Do you use that kind of stuff, Luis, right there?
No, I use that link. That's the link that all my staff, here's a pro tip that I would give you from my office is I don't want my people getting their own reviews. So we use our link to
absolutely.
To the agency. But I do tell them, hey, tell your customers to put your name on there. And that's how we track it. So on Mondays when I have my team meetings, I pull up my reviews. I go to you can filter by newest, and then you see all the reviews. I'm like, okay, so Ivan got 3, so-and-so got 2. And then when they get 5, they get 1 pull or 1 draw. And, you got to make it fun. Otherwise, people are people. If they don't really see an incentive, a lot of them will do it because it's their job. But why not make it part of their job and also a little reward? Because you're going to get a reward. Your Google reviews are going to pump you up. You're going to get more business, and everybody wins.
Yeah, and just to clarify something, because Luis just said he wants it to be the business. Absolutely. So this is from your Google Business Profile, and so this wouldn't be on their own anyway. And yes, an agent could get their own Google Business Profile, but right now there are several steps to doing that. And I have a cheat sheet, to like if there's independent agents watching right now and you would like that cheat sheet, just email me and I'll give that to you. And what that will do is that will show you how to set up your own Google Business Profile, even if you don't have a bricks and mortar agency. We've talked about that briefly before. The downside of that is some people don't want their home address to be part of a Google Business Profile. So if you're one of those people, then don't email me, because that's exactly what you got to do. But if you are an agent that wants everyone in your neighborhood to know what you do for a living. One guy told me, well, I don't want people coming to my house. No one ever comes to your house. That would be a very rare occasion, because you're going to have it set up where that's just the address. But you're going to have it so they contact you on phone, or filling out a form. So, and you don't have to put, that you're welcoming people into your home for an appointment. And there's different ways around that. So,
And Max, I'll tell you, I mean, we have our office address. I have a brick and mortar office, but I will tell you guys, walk-ins, I mean, they come in. We've had several people come in, but they're our clients and they're coming in to make payments. So it just doesn't, it's not like the good old days.
right. Right. People are, well, with your thing and you know, you've said it before, your bricks and mortar have paid off. I mean, it's worth twice basically what you paid for it, or maybe more. And it's really, you know, it's a place to do business. And quite frankly, I would do it the same way. And we want to, as we grow our insurance business, this marketing business is separate, you know, but as I'm helping my wife grow her insurance business, we would like to have, like you have, Luis, you know, a bricks and mortar place in a high traffic area. So I think that's something to aspire to.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So how responding to reviews works for insurance. Number one, it enhances SEO when you respond. You heard Luis earlier talk about how he responds even to negative ones if he gets one. But how you respond is really important. And then in your response, go ahead, you know, and the bullet point number 3 here is incorporate keywords in your response. Okay. So what that means is, like, let's say that Luis had, you know, Ivan on Luis's staff, somebody bought a Medicare policy. And let's say, you know, Ivan was so great helping me. I would recommend this insurance agency to anyone. And let's say that person's name was Mary. Okay. Well, your response would be back to Mary. Mary, include her name in the response. Thank you so much for trusting us with your Medicare insurance. Put those keywords in the response. Okay. You know, we've been helping families with that. ACA, home, auto, blah, blah, blah for years. And we're so glad you trusted us with your policy or your insurance needs, whatever. And people will go, why would I do that? Well, because it's building up your SEO. That's why you would do that. And that's just a little hack that you can use. And do you have to do that every time? If you're getting a ton of reviews, do you want to make those really long? No, you don't have to do it every time, but try to personalize the response every time. You know, because there's some people that use a cookie cutter response. You know, I've seen that. There's an FMO in Springfield, Missouri, as a matter of fact, that uses the exact same response for every review, the exact same one. And he swears by it. He says it's the best thing that they've ever done. So I would disagree with that. I would say that, you know, personalizing the response. If you're a person reading the reviews, put yourself in the readers. You know, how do you feel when you read a review and then you read the response and it's the exact same response every time? I know how I know how I would view that, but maybe I'm different. How would you view that, Luis?
It's hard. I mean, it's work. But you got to remember, there's a purpose to this work.
Right.
You're trying to build up your SEO. So it's just not busy work. But I cheat a little bit. Okay. I use my best friend. Okay. So I go to my best friend, which is Chat GPT, and I don't have a lot of friends, Max. I got to call that one my best friend. No, I haven't. I do have a lot of friends, but I go to Chat GPT and I'm like, help me respond to this Google review. I copy it, I paste it, I review it, I personalize it a little bit more, and then I put it in there. But I look at it as essential. I think it's something that I have to do to help with my SEO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And so how you would use the reviews once you get them, Luis, you probably could speak to this, but, you know, website integration, you want to have those positive reviews show up on your website. Today with WordPress websites, hopefully I'm not speaking over people's heads, but that's a platform that you can build websites on. That's our number one that we go to. And we can do other ones, encoded websites, but we use WordPress primarily. And we like the Elementor theme also. But there are what's called a plugin on a WordPress website that interfaces with your Google reviews and will showcase them on your webpage. And you want that. Okay. You want that on your website, your Google reviews, especially after you've built them up and you've answered them and you've done what, like Luis just said, the hard work, you know, and it is hard work. It's time consuming. You can delegate it to somebody. We do it for our clients. We actually do all of the GPP for all of our clients, our full service clients. Marketing materials, obviously you want to incorporate that in your marketing materials. How many you have. It doesn't have to be the exact number, but let's say, over 200 5-star reviews. I mean, that kind of stuff I feel like matters. And you could highlight one or two if you wanted to. You could use it in staff training, like Luis mentioned, he already is, and giving his staff an opportunity to win lunch, basically, or better. And then you can also monitor competitors. You can learn a lot from your competitors by their Google reviews and how they handle them. So you really can. And if they're just ignoring them, completely ignore, not respond, or if they don't have any, that's a sign. Or if they're ignoring them, that's another sign. But how they respond is a good way too, that you can learn some different things. And I'm not saying this is worth a ton of your time, but it doesn't hurt to check in every now and then on one of your competitors and see what they're doing. And then we'll wrap it up there today. But if you need to have a simple report done on your website, just your website, to see how your website's stacking up, you can go to our website here, go to the middle of the page and put your URL in there, and you'll get a review of your website. We've had a couple of people comment. The comments that we're getting when I do get an email from anybody that's watched these is, one guy said, "Hey, my website's really messed up. Can you jump in and fix it? Would you be able to do that?" And unfortunately, no, because if it's a templatized website, meaning like if, let's say you got it on Weebly or something like that, and I'm not knocking those of you who have Weebly sites, maybe you have a $10 million a year agency and you're doing great. What I'm saying is we're not interested in going in and trying to fix a templatized website. Our offer would be to replace your existing website. That's what we do. And with one that we know is going to work, that is on a server that we do updates to monthly, that sort of thing. So that's kind of where we're at. Does that explain what we do, Luis?
Yes.
Think?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, it does. I did my report and mine was not too good, which is why I'm having you build out a new one for us. That's so right. Down below, guys, you're looking at the video here. You see Max's email. It's max@maxoutcreative.com. Mm-hmm. Hook up with Max, okay? I'm giving you my personal recommendation because he is building my site and I'm liking what he's doing. So I've got a cookie cutter. I'm getting away from that. He can't fix my site. So we just have to build a brand new one from scratch, and it's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah. And we do, some people say we do a monthly, there's a monthly fee. So, for Luis, we're building his out for a flat fee. And, so that's what we're doing. And he's going to handle all the monthly. But for people, we're not asking for a ton. And we're not even asking for a contract. We do ask for a setup fee and then a monthly. But in our monthly, the hosting is included. The monthly updates are included. So the fresh content. Okay. And, if you want to put a blog on there, something like that, plus we can add content, we're doing that for under $200 a month. And it's a fresh site. And if you go with our plan, you get a brand new website every 2 years. So that's the other value add there. And it's worth every penny once you see what we would do for you. And then once you can track what it's doing in your market. So that's where we're at.
So if you don't have a website, guys, or maybe you got one and it's a piece of crap, it's not converting leads for you, and you want to have not a cookie cutter, a customized site for you, then email Max. I've gotten some people email me and I'm like, I'm not the web guy. I'm an insurance agent just like you. Get a hold of Max. I trust him. He's building out my stuff, man. And I'm glad you're on my butt, Max, because you know what? I'm getting pulled 100 different directions, and I can tell. Surprised I don't get pulled apart. But still, we're making progress. It's a little slow, but not because of you, but because of me. And
but you're also providing value to insurance agents all over, Luis. And I know I speak for quite a few people. The time you put into your YouTube channel, Think Medicare, Think ACA, there's so much value there, and you've done a good job. So thank you on behalf of all of the agents out there for putting together that stuff and offering people some real value.
Well, and I will tell you, I'm going to give you a thank you because us agents, there's so little training out there. we may get product training, and sometimes we got to go hunt for it ourselves.
Right.
But the training that when me and you connected and we started thinking about, what are we going to do? What
Right.
are we going to provide, with this agent tech talk?
Sure.
Nobody shows agents the website stuff, the marketing stuff. We got to kind of figure out on our own. And the problem with figuring it out on our own is the mistakes cost us money.
Yes,
That's the problem.
They do. They do. And sometimes hidden costs that you don't even know about. If you're not showing up in your market, you're missing on all that organic traffic. Even if you are really successful like Luis, you're still missing out on some organic leads that you would have had if your stuff was set up right. So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I could be missing out, not having a cookie cutter website maybe didn't cost me money, but it lost me money in all these potential sales I could have had for years.
Correct.
So, so that figuring it out on your own is tough. I've been doing this for 25 years. I'm so glad we connected. And the funny story, when we connected, I was in Vegas watching my wife. She was killing it. And Max was like, I got to go. I'm like, no, Max, I think you're my good luck charm, because I've never seen her win this much. She's usually losing, but she is just killing it on the slots. So I think we talked for about 2 or 3 hours while she was playing.
We did. Yeah. We
did.
She won not a couple hundred. She won a few thousand. So
she won a few thousand. I'm like, once she started losing, I'm like, all right, Max, your luck is gone, man. We're out of here. We'll talk later.
Right.
Well, guys, thank you. If you're watching this later, not on the live, post your comments. Okay. I'll reply to them. If I can't answer them, I'll get a hold of Max. He'll reply back to you. If you got questions on a website, okay, which every single agent, I have a pet peeve, guys, is you don't see Max here with max@gmail.com or AOL.com or whatever. Maybe for your personal stuff, it's no big deal. But when you're selling insurance, you need to at least make the attempt to play with the big boys. And I think the very first step, website and a professional email. And when I say professional email, your first name, or maybe it's customer service, sales, whatever, at whatever the domain is for you.
Right.
Okay. I hate when I get an email from a client and it's maxinsurance@gmail.com.
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, okay, you really couldn't go spend $10 on GoDaddy to get buy a domain.
Right.
I mean, I guess agents also, maybe it's not that they don't want to spend, is that they don't know. They don't know the marketing side of things. And it's, it is what it is. So,
and if you don't want to do any of it on your own, we do offer full service, for people. And that's fine, but that's not typically for an agent that's just starting out. I know I'm an agent just starting out. I've been in this world a long time, the marketing world a long time, but the insurance side of it, I'm just starting out. I just got my license, a year and a half ago. And so I'm just now starting out. So that's how I came to see Luis's stuff. But so I can learn from everybody too. And I will. So
this business is so good. We're undergoing some changes in Medicare, ACA. Hey, here's the crazy thing about it is that the changes apply to all of us. So it's not one group being targeted while the other group gets to enjoy, something better. No, we're all on the same boat. And here's the deal. People still need insurance. They've always had the opportunity to go buy direct, but that direct channel is not the channel. It's a channel for carriers to acquire some business, but not the majority of it. We're still needed out there, guys. Okay. So having a website is a good way to connect with consumers who still need us. So get a hold of Max. He'll help you out there. Max, thanks a lot, bro. I appreciate it. When you go to the description down below, I'll have Max's contact information. We also have a one-pager. Is it a one-pager? I haven't seen it yet, Max.
Yep.
We have a PDF. I've got some free resources for you guys. I have a folder in there that's called Agent Tech Talk, and you can pull out that PDF that Max created to help you out with your Google reviews. And then every episode that we had has a one-pager.
That's right.
So go in there, get it. And hopefully we're making you guys smarter agents and making you guys a little more money.
Yeah, it just gives you free resources that align with what we talked about here. So you have a little cheat sheet if you want to dive a little bit deeper. So
sounds good. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Remember, don't forget, like this video, comment. And then if you're not a subscriber to the channel, do me a favor, subscribe. It helps me grow my channel. We're getting very close to 8,000. I want to hit the 10,000 mark. That is my goal for 2025, is 10,000 subscribers. So we're getting there slowly but surely. And, Max, hopefully we get some subscribers to connect with you.
that'd be nice. I'd appreciate that. Yeah,
Okay.
but we'll keep showing up. We'll keep showing up. Thanks, Luis.
We will.